My Lords, I've signed Amendment 77 because I think it's a really sensible amendment. My Amendment 275 goes a little bit further, and if I was enthusiastic about my Amendment 90, I'm absolutely delirious about my Amendment 275. Now, back in 2001, I was a Green Party member of the London Assembly, and our group persuaded the Mayor, Ken Livingstone, to set up a Living Wage Commission. And this looked at what it really cost to live in London rather than what the minimum wage paid. The Commission then went about the work of persuading employers to sign up to a living wage, not just the inadequate minimum wage. It was a real success that Tory and Labour mayors have kept it going. It used common sense and facts instead of relying on market forces, and many people had easier lives as a result. So what I'm suggesting now is a living rent commission to do a similar job, with local mayors given the power and discretion to bring in rent controls that match the conditions in their area. The reason we need this is simply because the privatisation of the rental market since the 1980s, with the decline of social housing and the right to buy, has been a disaster for poorer people and, of course, young people. We have a two-tier economy where the rich get richer and the rest of us barely manage to tread water. And because the rich can only buy so many yachts and overpriced handbags, they spend their money on buying assets, and that often means properties. When BlackRock buys thousands of properties for rent in the UK, and another US investment firm, Blackstone, spends £1.4 billion doing much the same, then what chance does a couple have earning an average income of getting onto the property ladder? We have a younger generation who are working hard but being sucked dry every month by a rental system which benefits the rich and big corporations. The Resolution Foundation found that private renters were spending on average, as we've heard, a third of their income on housing costs. And this is getting worse, not better, and it isn't just a London problem. Rightmove reports that asking rents outside of London have risen 60% since 2020, far outstripping inflation and wage growth. Rent control is an established part of private renting in 16 European countries, so why not here? If the government wants to save money, then bring in rent controls. Between 2021 and 2025, the government is set to spend £70 billion of taxpayers' money on housing benefit, with an additional £1.74 billion annual spend on temporary accommodation. Why not save money on housing benefit and use that to build more social housing and reduce the millions of pounds spent every month on temporary accommodation? I have heard a lot from this government about affordable housing. I haven't heard quite so much about social housing, and I do think that is something we need to bring back into use. Creating a living wage in London made sense because people in low-income jobs spend nearly all they have on just getting by, and by giving them more money, benefit the local economy because they go out and spend it. By contrast, the more money that goes to rich people and corporations, the more that money forces up the price of homes as they outbid everyone to buy more assets. The government can break that cycle by establishing a living rent. When 1 in 5 private tenants are spending half their wages on rent, that's because our economy isn't working for everyone. The government are doing their best with this legislation, but if you want real change, then we need big ideas like a living rent.